Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be an update on Jamie's Integra. This one is going to be sort of the final pieces of the car just getting put back together. We're putting the dash in the car, we're going to do the first startup and the first drive, and later on in the video we're going to be actually tuning the car. So it will go to the dyno, get tuned. After it's been running, we're going to do some road miles just gently just to get the engine running, do the oil change, and then hit the dyno later on in the week. So yeah, stay tuned, watch to the end of the video. Hope you enjoy.
So right guys, we're back with Jamie's car again. It's been a little while since we've done an update on our channel. A lot's changed, a lot's gone on, etc. I think where we last left off, the precision had died. Yeah, I think we explained that in the last video. Basically it locked up, failed unit, caught it at quite an early time, so that's lucky. So the turbo that has replaced it is this one here right now. That is a GT3582R. Yeah, so that's the overview pretty much of what's been happening so far. I'm sure I've missed a few bits, but as you can imagine there's quite a lot going on with this build in particular. So right now I'm literally about to put check for oil level, make sure it's the right top up as needed, go over and check the car over one more time and finish up with the last few bits I just spoke about. Tomorrow will be dyno day, so bright and early, got to be there quite early. So I'll be taking this down myself and meeting Jamie and Romain from Racecal down there, and we'll be tuning this and hopefully it all goes well. For like guesstimated or estimated sort of horsepower or power numbers, because everyone's interested in them, I think Jamie will be happy with somewhere around about 600 horsepower, you know, as a minimum sort of thing. Anything else is a bonus. One note I will say is that whether or not we spoke about or covered it much, but we are going to be, well, this is now set up for flex, or flex fuel. So we will be running this on ethanol, so I do have a funny feeling we'll be able to push this quite far. I wouldn't want to put any high numbers out there to get anyone's hopes up, do you know what I mean? But it's going to do well, I think, so we shall see. Right, so yeah, replacement turbo. This is a GT3582R, T3 housing. Can't remember the exact size of the exhaust housing. Might be an AR1 point something or another. I can't actually remember from the top of my head, a little while ago now. This one has had what's called a T51R mod on the compressor housing. There's no performance gain from it whatsoever. What it is, it's just machining on the inlet, which basically like enhances the turbo noise that you'd hear when you come on boost. It just makes it really quite noisy, like whiny, whistly, should I say. We had to do a bit of fabrication work on the compressor side, or shall we say like the charge pipe itself. The older precision, although it sat in the same place, the frame of the turbo sat a lot further forward, so I couldn't use any of the existing charge pipes, so basically all I had to do was chop it up and just make this new piece here. That's about it really. Obviously exhaust, so Overkill Performance had made this for us. They helped us out at a pinch because it was getting a bit tight for time, etc. So they really helped us out there. Beautiful piece of work. That had got sent away back to Firm and Met, who helped us out, well, helped Jamie out, shall I say, and also us yet again to get this stuff covered, which I'm glad we did, because this area is rather hot, shall we say. As you can see, there's a bit of heat through it now. The time we're filming now is it's Tuesday, so basically the last video we were just in Jamie's was filmed on a Sunday, not filmed on a Sunday, released on a Sunday, sorry, and I'd had the car with myself all weekend running it in. I've just dropped the oil out of it, which was a running in oil, and now putting in the fully synthetic engine oil into it, ready for dyno tomorrow. So today it's just consisting of doing nut and bolt checks, checking things over, checking fluids, making sure nothing's loose or anything's going wrong sort of thing. And so far it's got a clean bill of health, fluids are mint, obviously engine oil, when I dropped it out, checked that out, nothing in there, looking good. Yeah, that's about it really so far. A little bit of tidying up some loose ends on the inside. I'm going to be wiring in what's called a cowl switch. I'll show you that once we get into the car. But that's about it for now under the engine bay. If you want to go through a few little bits and bobs, you know, I don't know, recovered it. I know I've mentioned it a few times now on Jamie's channel, but like drive-by wires now working, etc. That's all adapted to the Skunk 2 manifold. That's working with a Evo 10 throttle pedal to replace what would have been the cable throttle pedal inside, and that's all communicating through the Cyvex, etc. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now that I can think of under the bonnet. We'll have a look in the cabin now and go through all the new dash, etc., and show you some features and go from there. Right, yeah, so now we'll have a look at what's changed inside the car, etc. A lot and not a lot at the same time, if that makes sense. What I've got in my hands right now, so this is what I was just speaking about in the last little snippet, is this is basically what's called a cowl switch. This is something that Cyvex offers, and what it is, it's basically a 12-position potentiometer or variable resistor, and basically you just got 12 positions where you can have this wherever you want, basically. So what this does is give you like 12 maps, if you want to think of it like that. So you can have like low boost, high boost, anti-lag, launch control, whatever you want, you name it, you can have it on a different position, and that's on the Cyvex they call it like Cal 1, Cal 2, Cal 3, and so you have this little knob here, you cut this to the length that you need, etc., and position this wherever you want in the car. Literally 2 wires to the ECU, and then, you know, you've got all of that sort of availability just at your fingertips sort of thing, so it's quite a nice little feature. So that's one of the last things I've got to do today, a little bit last minute, but it's fine, we'll get sorted. Dash has obviously been fitted, etc. So this is a Mako Motorsport 3D printed like cluster housing, just to make it sort of like a bit more OEM. Also a sunk finish on the dash, if that makes sense. So basically, rather than it sticking out and looking a bit ugly, you know, they sort of try and sink it back as far as you can. So that is set up via what's called a CAN network to a Cyvex, literally 2 wires, and all the engine data that the ECU would normally see is transmitted to the dash. So you get, you know, your gear position, speed, vehicle speed, RPM, oil pressure, oil temp, you know, you name it, you got it on the dash. So that's quite a really good feature there. And then the rest of it is stuff like indicators or warning lights, or like handbrake warning light, hazards, headlights. That's just all wired physically to the dash, so you got all them indicators still working. Give you a little show of it. So this is a start up. You have to excuse the fuel pumps if you can hear them. Start up's not too bad. So yeah, this is the layout that we've chosen for now. They offer 2 versions of the dash, I say. They've got one with the road icons, or one with just basically just universal LEDs, which can light up whatever colour you want. We went for the road icons because this is more intended as a road car and a flat-out race car or something like that. So there on the right-hand side here, we've got like... How are we doing this? We're going to go again? You can't draw it. Well, that's how loud you've got to have music anyway, if you want to hear it. Yeah, so going back, on the right-hand side, you've got some road icons. You've got your engine management light, which is functional, or a pressure light. There's like a temperature warning light at the bottom corner, that's set up so that, well, I've set that up in a dash software, so when the oil temp's cold, that'll light up blue to let you know the oil temp's still cold. It will then turn off when it's up to operating temp, and then if the oil temp ends up too hot, then that'll light up red. So there's little things like that. There's quite a lot of functionality with these dashes that you can do. Left hand side is just indicators, there you go, you can see them. Full beam and then dip beam, got little side light markers, etc. But apart from that, yeah, it's pretty cool bit of kit. You can have any sort of display you want on them. So at the moment we've got like a few generic displays on the dash, but like this is more of like an informative display, so there's a lot of data going on. But yeah, the world is your oyster when it comes to these dashes, really. The level of customising that you can do on these dashes is quite high, in all fairness, so you know, you can make it suit your needs for whatever you want. We're pretty much ready for the dyno now. In the last scene or last snippet you would have seen, it would have been us, well, myself going through the car, you know, checking everything over, making sure everything's all tight, fluids are all good, changing oil out, etc. Everything's all as good as I can get it. Everything's looking perfect, ready for the dyno, so hopefully there's no big issues. Fully expecting maybe a couple of teething issues as you do with these sort of big builds, but hopefully not. It will be tomorrow now that we'll be going to dyno, and hopefully it all goes well.
look, we're both looking a bit flustered because we've just been out on the road. But if you didn't hear any of that on the camera, because we haven't got a mic with the GoPro, so I don't know if you heard us talking or not, but we've just come back from the drive. We're now parked up, and yeah, wow, so impressive, so impressive. That last run we just did, you put it into Cal 2, which was, how much boost was it?
Roughly like 1.5, 1.6
yeah
bar.
So that's only a, you know, it can go up to 1.9, so it's only just the start of it, really, isn't
like
it?
560 horse maybe max,
Yeah.
I'd say.
And you might be able to see me in the video going from my seat. I was like, said to Josh, it's the first time I've felt like, oh my God, it's like, yeah, feels like, feel obviously totally safe, but it does feel like you need to hold on, because it just,
lie, it's a handful.
It is,
yeah. It does talk steer a lot. I think you'll be able to see that in the video as well.
Yeah.
Doing a bit of this.
Yeah,
but.
I didn't realise that it was going to be that lively, but yeah, it's super impressive. Like you say, maybe we might need some traction control adding to it later down the road, but
yeah, we can add that into phase 2, shall we call it?
phase 2, yeah, it might not be getting quite the times you want, because it will just be spinning the wheels, but the whole package, I think, the whole thing, you know, the gear change, the boost, the VTEC, it's just all feels so lively, so impressive, and yeah, the theatre behind it is mega. So hats off to your work, and to Jamie for the commitment to the build. So the next stage is going into, well, we're going to go back into the workshop and sort out the tiny little bits. You said about a few sensors and bits and pieces.
Get this working. That's something, nothing. That should be an easy fix. It's just we couldn't do it down the dyno that day.
Yep.
So I have some pressure sensors. I'm going to mount one of the pressure sensors a bit differently to how I did originally.
Yep.
Not realising basically how, what's the word, furious this car is, or how, how like outrageous it is.
Okay, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, because when you get on power, it's just so aggressive, you know, everything shakes. I mean, down at the dyno, one thing I always remember noticing is outside the shutter door, just to get a bit of fresh air, you can feel it through the ground.
Could you? Yeah, the whole thing, because it's so,
yeah, so that's probably why we lost one of the pressure sensors, in all fairness.
Yeah, okay, so that's something we've learnt from the dyno and the test. So yeah, once that's done, like you said earlier in the video, we're going to basically fine tune it. Will remain on the flat shift, so that'll be like the icing on the cake, really, won't it? That's like cherry on the top to get that working, and then you can go full attack
100%.
on the gear change, and then after that the ethanol, the bigger power. But yeah, it'd be nice to get it back to Jamie, give it a few miles on the road, get his full sort of report, reaction, and get his feedback on it. And I'm sure there'll be some little bits to do, but as for now, well done.
Thanks.
And thanks for scaring me.
No problem, I enjoyed that.
Until next time.
Cheers,
Thank you.
guys.